to my channel. I've been doing a bunch of hikes here in Texas where it's really hot and it's normal for it to be really hot. But I'm starting to realize that not everyone is always used to hiking in extreme heat. And so I thought I'd do a little video on how to do that. I'm just going to go over some quick tips on things I bring, things I recommend, and ideas to keep in mind when you're planning your trip. So I'm going to start off with probably the most important thing from my point of view, and that's hydration. And I don't mean just water when I'm talking about hydration. I do keep a Nalgene full of just plain normal water, but I also on longer day hikes, or I mean almost always in the summer, I bring my Osprey Hydro Pack. This holds 2 liters. I love this thing. I used to think these like nozzle things were really odd and I didn't understand why people liked them, but you know, I tried it and I fell in love with it. A lot of backpacks have like a little pouch right against your back for all of your water, so the weight is closest to your back, which is how it should be when you're packing. Not only do I do 2 liters of water in here, but another thing, like I said, it's not just water. You also have to think about nutrients and minerals, so you're sweating a lot, it's super hot. Even if you're in the shade, you are just sweating up a storm, you need salt. And so what I like to do, this is like a Gatorade fruit punch thing, and I mean you can get these anywhere, and I think Powerade does them too. I'm sure there's like a bajillion different powder forms of electrolyte drink, and I just put 2 of these bad boys into my pack, and I mean I recently used this, so there's a little bit of red. I haven't cleaned it yet, but that's what I use. So usually I have 2 liters of like electrolyte water and then a Nalgene of normal water, and I kind of alternate between the 2 to make sure I'm sufficiently hydrated. And I used to not use electrolyte packs, but they make such a difference. It's insane. So I would highly recommend that. Or if you're not into like flavored water, there are these little goos. Ben uses them on really long runs, and they're just like little energy gels. And I mean, some of them have caffeine, others don't, and it's more like a food goo gel sort of thing if flavored water or hydrated water, electrolyte water isn't your thing. I'm going to be trying one of these. This is strawberry banana, and I have another one, tri-berry. I'm going to try it on our next hike. We're going to E-Rock, see if I like it then. I think I'm going to be editing that video after E-Rock, so I'm going to try my little goo. See how it is. Okay. Not my favorite. Not my favorite. Not my favorite. Not my favorite. I kind of suspect I'm not going to like it. Gels just don't really vibe with me very well. I don't like them. I don't like the texture. But I'm also trying a berry flavor. Regardless of if I like it or not, I might want to try another flavor in the future just to cover my bases. But yeah, these are another great option. Next up is not an item per se, but it's more advice on trails, and I think it's probably the second most important thing besides hydration, and that is planning your trip appropriately. Not only is it the summer, or maybe it's not the summer and it's just scorching hot, you don't want to be in the sun. You want to go in as shady of a trail as possible, and you want to maximize the amount of water you are around. I say this because water is very cooling, so even if you just rest by water, it's cooler, and it makes a world of a difference if you have water nearby. I just recommend staying on shady trails, as shady as you can, and being around water sources so you can cool off a little bit. And that's especially important if you have dogs. Dogs benefit a lot from getting their feet wet. That's a really great way for them to cool off. So if you're bringing your doggo with, you might want to consider even more having a water source around so that they can dip their feet in and cool off. Next thing are like topical things, so things you put on you to protect yourself. I always start off with spray sunscreen. I think it's super easy to put on. You have a heavier pack at the beginning of the day, you have more water, you're not really interested in like lathering up, and you're just ready to go hike. I start with spray sunscreen, and then usually I put on bug spray because it's pretty buggy here. That might be different in other areas. I am very attractive to bugs, so I always use bug spray. And then I have special face sunscreen I use for my face because it's a little sensitive and I don't want it to be super greasy. And I always carry around chapstick like all the time. I put on chapstick nonstop. And I always carry a smaller extra sunscreen in my pack. So these are smaller, so it's less weight, but it allows me, like during a lunch break, if I feel like I need to reapply, which you usually do, easy to carry around and it's easy to apply when you're breaking. And then this is sort of, you might not need this. I use Vaseline to help with chafing. My thighs tend to chafe a lot. It's really uncomfortable when they're rubbing together, and then halfway through the hike they're just really painful. I think other people experience it like on their underarms where their arms are rubbing, or like on their back where their pack is rubbing their shirt onto their skin. So if you ever experience chafing, I highly recommend Vaseline. You can get it anywhere. It's cheap. I don't know. It works wonders for me. I think there's also like, fancy brands of this. Like I think they're called like Body Glide or Body Butter, or I don't know. I think there are nicer versions of this that are like in sticks, sort of chapsticky thing where you take it out of the tube and you just rub it on yourself. So if that's your thing, go for it. I've never tried one. That might be something I look into in the future, but for now Vaseline works wonders and it works great for me and it's cheap, so recommend Vaseline. And finally is going to be clothes. So hiking in Texas is very, very hot. One thing I always have with me are my sunglasses, but honestly, when I'm running with these things, they just fall off my face after I start sweating. So it gets really annoying when I'm trail running or I'm on a really long day hike and I sweat a lot. I've seen a lot of people wear trucker hats with the really long brims. So I actually ordered one. I'm gonna see how it is. Yeah, we'll see how that goes. But I mean, Ben uses these Gaiters and they're super duper cute. But he has the same issue where they eventually start falling off his face after sweating. I don't know how people keep sunglasses on their faces. I see people running around in Austin with sunglasses and I'm like, how do you keep them on? So if you are one of those people, not necessarily in Austin, but you wear sunglasses while you run and you are really, really sweaty, please comment below. I want to know your secrets. How do you do these things? So with the trucker hat, there are also these really popular boat hats. This is Ben's. I have a really old boat hat, but it's from when I was in high school and it just doesn't fit my head very well. So I don't use it, and that's why I use my sunglasses. These are really good because they provide shade around your entire head, so they'll cover your face, the top of your shoulders, and your neck. And I think they're a really good option. I just kind of want to try a trucker hat and see how it goes since I'm new to the hat game and I don't know if I'll like them anyway. One thing that's really, really useful is a gaiter. So I actually invested in one of these during the pandemic to use while running on trails next to folks or hiking. Yeah, this is a buff gaiter. I would highly recommend getting one of these, honestly. I think they're good for so many different things. This has SPF protection, UV protection built into it, so when I wear it, it not only does it cover my skin, but it protects me from UV. I really, really like them, and if you're hiking around water, you can dip them in the water and put it back on your neck, and it just feels super good, and they dry out really fast. I would super recommend getting a gaiter if you don't have one. And then clothes, I just wear normal tech apparel. I think some people swear by wool clothes because it's very sweat wicking, but I really associate wool with cold weather. I want to be warm, so I will wear wool, and it's kind of itchy on my skin. Some people aren't so itchy. It's definitely something I've considered and I might try in the future is a wool tank top or something just to see how it compares. But usually I just go with tech apparel, the synthetic sort of stuff you can get. Tank tops. I got these new shorts, which I
think I might do a short review. I don't know. I got these new shorts. They were on sale at REI. They're like North Face Aphrodite motion shorts or something like that. I don't know if they're like made for anything in particular, but they're active shorts. And I have hiked in them and run in them now, and I like them for both. I need to do a review, but you always want really breathable clothes. That's the gist of this. Some people also recommend wearing there's very lightweight long sleeve things, like jackets you can get. I've never worn those. It might be different if I was in a super exposed area like a desert, but I tend to hike in very shady areas, so I feel like I don't really need that. But if you are in an exposed hike or maybe in the desert, it might be something to consider. I think there's even like hiking umbrellas to keep the sun off of you. Again, I don't really know much about these things, but something you could look into if you're interested. So that's all I got for you today. If you found this useful in any way, shape, or form, go ahead and give it a like. Subscribe only if you wanna. I encourage you to just get out there. Go do something. Go on. Go ahead. Bye.